Hey everyone, it's Benny from Unbranded Sports Preparation down here in Canberra. Welcome to my first podcast. I've not done one of these pretty much ever. I got the inspiration from a man who I've recently met and been privileged to spend a lot of time with just recently, and we've slammed a lot of bars, chugged a lot of C4. It's been a great time. I think you'll know who I'm talking about already. It's the great Jon North.
Yeah, and cheers. We're drunk on coffee right now. I think we're on, our fourth cup?
Oh, we have been hitting it. I've lost count, man.
Yes. It's definitely a lifestyle. But I just want to say thank you, Ben, for having me on your first podcast. It's honored to be on your show, and I just want to start off the show by thanking you and Trinity and all of Unbranded Sports Preparation for having me out. It's been a great weekend, great time.
It has been killer, hasn't it?
Great community, great gym, and I love the Iron family. So salute.
Indeed, salute indeed. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
So, how you enjoying that coffee, man?
Good. Well, the interesting thing is that I'm getting used to the espresso shots out here. Because the coffees, I mean, you can get espresso shots like this in America, but I think it's more popular the other way. The drip coffee, I guess you guys call it.
Oh yeah, drip. The cold drip or the percolator?
I really don't know. I don't know. But your guys' coffee in Australia is just amazing.
It's some pretty next level, isn't it?
It's the best coffee I've ever had, and I'm going to upset some people back in the States that are some Trenta iced coffee chuggers like myself. But I think I'm going to switch my choice of coffee up. I'm going to go back to the States and be drinking some espresso shots now because I'm hooked. But I was slurping it earlier.
Yeah.
Because when I drink hot coffee, I slurp. And you actually said that the professional baristas do that for coffee tasting.
Yeah. There's a cupping technique that baristas, coffee roasters, coffee aficionados use, and what happens is that when they're cupping these freshly ground beans or this fresh coffee, and they have this very expressionate slurp that they make into it, right? And I actually noticed it because you sort of picked up your cup and you had the big and that's really, really common with professional coffee people.
I wasn't being annoying.
No. I actually noticed it because I do that whenever I've got new beans at home or in the cafe that's in the gym. We're trying these beans out, and it's just a big old slurp fest. But it's an interesting one, because it builds the aroma and the flavor across the palate.
Well, it's funny. That's interesting that you mentioned this, said this to me, because I automatically for years have done it with all my tea and my hot coffee, just automatically, because I can taste more flavor that way. It's better tasting that way. So for you now to mention that's what baristas do, it's mind-boggling. So it's pretty cool. But
actually, it probably isn't as sort of foreign as you might think. Like, I think you strike me as being a very instinctive guy, right? You react to the world around you, right? And weightlifting, which is ultimately what sort of you and I are sort of all about, is that there's a lot about the reaction to how. You react to the bar, you react to the people around you, you react to the atmosphere, you respond to it with your behaviours and things, and so you look at something as simplistic as you slurp your coffee and your tea because it tastes better, and this is a natural thing for you to do, and so this instinct to drift towards a thing that makes something exciting or better. Is sort of a human instinct, which I think we switch off a lot to, and you started to speak about that a little bit when when you're even teaching about how to handle the bar and how to feel for balance, and that arched angel feeling, it feels right, and before you think it's right, it feels that it's right.
Yeah, well, an interesting conversation that we had was that you like to blindfold your weightlifters at times.
Yeah.
Talking about feeling, and I found this very interesting because a lot of times when I coach, I like to coach with my eyes closed, and I'll do it on purpose because I like to hear the athlete. I like to hear the sounds the athlete's making with the bar and their feet, and you could tell a lot from just sounds. But when you started talking to me about lifting blind, I was very intrigued, and I was literally taking notes, and I loved what you were saying. Well, let the audience know about this because, this is just a perfect example of why I'm continually growing the melting pot of not just weightlifting but life. And why I love traveling, because I get to meet coaches like you here and at Unbranded, and I end up learning more than probably what I teach at the seminars, and so.
Well, yeah, I honestly didn't think it was anything too revolutionary, but for all of my starting athletes, the ones who I start deliberately, and this doesn't really work with athletes that I haven't started, I guess, but when I start an athlete, I'll count up the number of repetitions that they perform, particularly with the snatch, because of its technical nature and the speed that the bar moves, right? You don't have time to think your way through a snatch. You've got to react to it. And then, and so once an athlete gets to about 1,000 snatches, thereabouts, right, they start to develop or develop a need to improve their speed. They need to get faster, and they need to stop thinking. They just need to, like, bam, react to what the bar is doing and what their balance point is and stuff. And so what I do is when the athlete is ready, it's like an hour and a half, 2-hour session that I take them through one-on-one. And there's no distractions. It's the only thing we do. And they basically get up on the platform with a bare bar or a bar with a little bit of weight, and they'll perform the snatch, but I'll blindfold them or take their eyes away from them, right, so they can't see. And the interesting thing about it is that when you take your eyesight away, particularly on the platform there, is that the athlete really learns to listen to what the bar is saying to them through their hands and through their balance and through the noises that it makes. The noise when it oscillates off the hips, and the noise of their feet when they start to become really sensitive to what the foot noise is when it falls onto the platform.
Yeah.
And
you're talking about that best technique in the world, that catapult technique.
Oh yeah, well
that's what you sound like. The Attitude Nation catapult technique. Bar oscillation off the hips. It's getting controversial in here.
Well, I'll call it an oscillation, and for the purposes of my guest here.
Well, but, I'm sitting here as you're talking, just taking it in, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm trying this. I'm training today back in Sydney. I'm about to hit the road again. I've been here for a good 4 days.
Yeah, Just been you're heading back up to Marrickville,
great
right?
Seminar, great training sessions. So, but when I train today, I'm gonna lift with my eyes closed, or tie a blindfold around my eyes because I think it looks cooler. It's like Rambo or something.
Yeah, that's right.
But I want to try this out. I'm just a little worried I'm going to hit my what. Especially in the catapult method, when that bar has a little bit of space between you and your body and you're setting up for that big Mike Tyson uppercut, I'm a little worried I might hit that ouch bone, if you know what I mean. That's the perfect example of why to do this. You got to stay patient. Mm-hmm. You got to have that perfect feel. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, if you really think about it, you're right. When you're lifting, you're looking just straight ahead. You're not looking at the bar. You're not looking at your hips while you lift. You're not looking down at your feet.
No, you're not.
When you're on that beautiful finish, you're not looking at your body. So, if you really actually think about it, every single time you lift, you're lifting blind.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, because you're just looking against the wall in front of you or the audience.
Or into the space.
Why does that matter?
Well, it doesn't. Here, look,
right?
Look, I'll compound this.
Yeah, we should have people call in on this shit.
We really
should.
It's
just knowledge bombs right now.
I really wish I had some.
First podcast, and you're blowing the room up like this. Can you open a window because it's smoky?
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Okay. There's if you ask any of the people that I've trained though, they'll and you ask them, tell me about your dead eye. Right? Have you heard of the dead eye concept?
Please tell me about this.
This is actually the birth of where the blind snatch comes from. I remember back on my very first competition, right? My very first competition, the first meet I ever went to, man, we were setting up on rubber, out in the back room there. We were warming up on rubber and stuff, and I didn't really know what it was like to lift on a comp platform. And then, oh, man.
Well, we were talking about that the other day, too, just a side note real quick.
Yeah.
If you're hosting a local meet, you need to have in the warm-up room, wood.
Yeah,
for the athlete's feet.
Yeah,
you can't lift on rubber and then go out and compete on wood.
No, it throws you.
I'm not saying that you have to have a fancy national style meet.
Yeah,
but take out the rubber and put a piece of plywood down.
Yeah,
and that's all just a rant of mine that We went on a little bit earlier, but I'll let you continue. So, John, it's not your podcast. You're not allowed to interrupt people. You are a guest. For all my weightlifting talk fans out there, or not fans, but Dark Orchestra skeletons, they kind of laugh at me because I'm known to interrupt. But continue. Sorry.
So, but yeah, I remember back to that first meet that I had, and this is a few years ago now, and I remember I looked out onto the crowd, and the one thing that I remembered. As soon as I started to look at the crowd, I started to lose focus. I got all sweaty, and I'm like, "Oh shit, what am I going to do?"
Yeah.
And then I remembered what back from my presenting days, right? So I used to do a lot of presenting, and there was something that one guy taught me, and he just called it the blind eye. But so I now teach it, and I teach it as called as the dead eye, right? And it's where you basically and there's a drill that goes with this.
Are you going to put this drill on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I will actually.
Yeah, you were telling me that you're going to start posting some good instructional videos on your channel.
Yeah. Well, I've been inspired by a lot of how you do things, and a lot of my inspirations from these other guys who are on YouTube, like the Cal Strength guys and the MD guys, and even some of the old school stuff from Russia and China and stuff. It's awesome. Yeah. But I think you got to free the information, right? You can't lock it up.
I just promote the information as much as possible because I just think the more information the better.
Yeah.
You get out. I mean, we've been talking all week, and you have so much in your head that grow the melting pot, spread the knowledge, and we're all like I said, like we were talking about earlier. It's all one big family. We all want to see each other. Obviously, lift bigger weight, more weight.
Yeah.
Community grow. We're in this together.
Yeah.
You put up a video on YouTube on your channel, and I'll watch it, and I'll steal it from you.
Yeah, thanks. So this is
right?
so next time. Yeah. So what'll happen is the next time you'll see it, it'll be the Jon North.
Yeah,
blind
I'm going to
snatch.
steal it and then get all your hits.
Yeah, it'll be the Blind North snatching session.
I'm going to rename it.
Truth. Holy smokes! Yeah, you can see where this is going. That's sort of getting onto those first lifts and that sort of place that you can go to when you're starting your first competition prep and stuff. I mean, at your seminar at my gym, at the Unbranded gym in Canberra, we listened. The crowd was they were just captured when you were starting to talk about the Dark Orchestra, right? That darkness that sort of comes over every weightlifter, and you know what? Every weightlifter I've trained or worked with, and myself. It is right there, that cloud that comes over you, and it just sneaks up on your ass, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and that's why so many people quit in this sport. It's the leading cause of death, if you will, for a weightlifter.
Yeah.
Because what people don't understand is they think the dark is bad. They think that when the dark creeps into the gym one day, a few weeks in or a few months in, they think they think that they're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
They start to panic. Yeah. They don't feel comfortable in the dark. And they, I call it the devil in the red dress. The dark settles into the gym, and then all of a sudden, by the door of the gym, this beautiful lady with dark hair comes in with a red dress. With, a slit up the legs, so she's showing her legs.
Oh, yeah,
her breasts are hanging out. Right? She's sexual. She's beautiful, right?
And like Jessica
what
Rabbit.
She's doing is she's taking her finger and she's calling you over. She's saying, "Come with me." I wrote a whole blog on this. To this day, it's I think my best piece of work in writing blogs. It's my most. If I had one athlete to read one blog, it would be this blog.
Yeah, right. We'd find that on your which website?
JonNorth.blogspot.com, called Devil in the Red Dress.
Yeah, right.
And what she's doing is she's calling you over because she wants you to come home with her and rest. She wants you to stop training and make love with her. And you will. You will make love with her. You will be home and you'll be making love with the devil in the red dress, and you'll be comfortable and you'll be at ease. And your body won't hurt anymore. Good for you. But you just quit. You just became weaker. You just took 30 steps back.
Yeah,
and
right.
therefore she's the devil. And so when that dark settles in, comes into the gym, and you see that devil in the red dress, you got to look away. You got to continue training, even though she's tempting. Rest is the number one killer for a weightlifter, right? And that's another blog I wrote called Rest. And it's